If the casting director tries to correct your acting, that is the best compliment you will ever have. You know why? Because if they don't like you, they will say you thank you, and that's it, and you'll be on your way. If they are correcting you, means that you are right there, but they're moving you to what directors want. So you're getting there. They're liking you. So if they're correcting you, don't be, oh my God, they don't like it. No, they're liking it, but they're saying, please go to that direction because the director will love that way. So you have a shot.
Hi there, welcome to Film Forums. My name is Aisha Jbeli and I have another special guest with me today. Could you introduce yourself?
I'm Walter Alonso Espinoza. I'm manager, producer, and director in South America, and I hope in the world in the future.
Today, obviously, we want to focus on your career as a personal manager for actors, particularly. So can you tell us a little bit about what brought you into that business?
The thing is that in Latin America, especially, the career of our agent or a manager, it wasn't very common 10 years ago, 15 years ago, pretty much. I think actors were more used to work by themselves because there was a lot of informality in the business. In South America, there is a lot of informality. Recently, some countries are getting like the process right to create an industry, but it's not very common. So I'm also a producer and a director, but one of the things that I also studied was marketing. And when I was talking to actors, I was realizing that there were some opinions that were saying like, I don't know, pay rates or my profile, stuff like that. And I realized that they didn't know themselves in that way, in a strategy way. So I was talking to them like a friend. And they were like, thank you. And they were getting things ahead. And one of the actors said, why do you become a manager? You know what, there is no very common, but you are good. And there is a movie that says, if you are good at something, don't do it for free. And with that, I was starting a production company with a couple of friends his objective is to create industry in my country, Peru, and South America and the world, and create connections everywhere. So one of the places that we want to aim at is, besides production and also directing or education, was managing, representing and managing. So that's how it was created, and that's how I started to work as a manager in 2015.
Awesome. So you've been doing it since 2015, so a good few years. And how many people do you tend to have on your books at one time?
At once, well, the first ever was 5 actors. Then they became 10, then became 20. And right now we are working with 28 right now, 28.
Fantastic. So obviously, in different countries, the manager job and the agent job can vary, right? So how do you run your service as a manager? What do you do for your actors? Why should they have a manager?
Yeah, there is one thing that is always try to say, it doesn't matter the language, if I'm in an English meeting or a Spanish meeting or a Portuguese meeting, is that the agent is like your selling buddy. It's your shield. It's the one, your sword and your shield. It's the one who is, okay, I need you to be profitable, so I'm going to sell you. Okay, give me your reel, give me your headshots, give me everything. Now I got the material. Let's make it happen. Okay, the manager is the one who needs to create the way you're going to be profitable to the agent. Is the person who needs to know you and to create a strategy with you. Let me put it example. An agent will tell you, don't accept this job because it's only 200 quid, that's it. But the manager could say, well, I've just investigated this director he made it 4 short films, all of them made it to Stitches, made it to Cannes, made it to I don't know, Sundance. So if this is his first feature, okay, it will be 200 quid, but the character is interesting. Maybe we could get that tour, the festival tour, and that will be great for your networking. So the manager is the one who tries to think 3 steps ahead all the time. Try to also, for example, if you're a child actor, okay, you're very famous, but you're gonna grow up. Puberty is gonna hit you. So how you're gonna aim your to your adult profile, or once you are the cute girl or the cute guy when you're coming 30s, how's your profile gonna change? Or for example, if you are something that I talk about profiles, the aspirational ones and the one with empathy, like if you are aspirational one, how to gonna go for empathetic roles, you know, for ones that people feel empathy for, like for example, festival roles, you know, more common roles. So those are the strategies the manager needs to talk to the actor, and also about technique. Maybe you feel that you are the best actor in the world, and the manager's like, you are good in theater, but your technique in audiovisuals or film is not better, not quite there yet. Or for example, I want to go I don't know, I want to go to England into acting in English. Do you know English accents? Do you know Birmingham, Manchester? No. So what the heck are you doing? You know, it's like you need to prepare yourself. That's the manager, the one who is beside you, who is next to you, and who, when you are high, he will be there for you. And when you are low, he or she will be there for you, because he's the one who works to get you back to the horse, on the horse again.
Yeah, it's kind of like a game of chess, isn't it? This career, you know what I mean? And what a manager does and what an agent does are going to be kind of different, but they're all supposed to play into the same end goal, the same strategy. Obviously, as I've said to you previously, in the UK, a lot of the time, your agent is your manager because they're also members of the PMA, the Personal Management Association. But in other parts of the world, they are very separate roles, like completely separate, and they're not, you know, they're not allowed to really overlap. So it's always interesting, I think, for me to hear. And also, you give a very personalized service. You know what I mean? You spend a lot of time with your actors. And obviously, for those of you at home that don't know, I do know Walter personally. And we actually met through a networking event. Do you want to tell them a little bit about the networking event, Walter?
Well, one thing that I always try to give tips about life and working, and this is for the actors. I think there's a saying that for success or business, it's all about location, location, location. Well, for me right now, that change is connection, connection, connection. It's how you connect, and how is the way you can connect with other people, not only from UK, from around the world. Your office is not, you know, Scotland or Ireland anymore. Your office is the world. How you connect is important. So I went to a seminar, an actor seminar, Actors Pro Expo, and I got the opportunity to expose part of make an exposition about marketing for actors as a manager. And then I got a connection with another person who introduced me to Sean. Sean is a person who creates these events of networking with actors, producers, managers, directors, everywhere. And he said, well, you will come into the meeting. And I always say, when there's opportunity for a meeting, I always say yes. One of the ways of you can get ahead in your career is to get to know more people and get a wider ways of opportunities. So when I get there, I went to meet a lot of people. One of them was you, and it was my second meeting. I think it was my second meeting there when I met you, and I start to have meetings with people from that, so to see how I can be of service with everyone, because it's important to not only to create connection, it's also to how you can provide any assistance to those connections, so you can see how to create a stronger bond to make opportunities for both parties in the future. So that's how we met each other in one of the meetings, and then we start getting meetings like in personal meetings via internet. And you are right now in UK, right now here in Lima, Peru, and we are having a conversation.
It has been amazing. That's why I really wanted to get you on the show, because you've really mentored me. You know what I mean? We've had a few meetings now, and the value that I've taken from it, especially because you're not my manager, you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. So I feel like you've got so much knowledge to share. And one of the things that I have struggled with the most my entire career is knowing my type, knowing what I should be going for and what parts I'm suited to, and my look versus my personality. And I've never had more clarity than when we've had conversations about it. Just talk a little bit about those, you know, the two opposing types and how that can help shape what people do in an audition and things like that?
The first one is that I always talk about acting more than the artistic side. Okay, acting is something about the arts. We communicate, we interact with art with people. We are artists, but acting is a branch of something that is wider, that is bigger, that everybody in the world does it. Communication. We communicate like through acting. The job of an actor is not to act. The job of an actor is to communicate through acting. Is that how I can communicate the story, how I can communicate my profile and everything. So this is the two things. The first one is that acting is a branch of something that is bigger, that is communication, is part of humans, animals, everybody communicates. Even if you can speak, communicate. Even if right now we're communicating in English language. If you know Spanish, we can communicate in Spanish, or even with sign language or singing, okay? And the other thing is that an actor communicates through acting. So why is it important to say that? Because in castings everywhere in the world, nobody, no casting director, no producer ever in their life is judging your technique. They don't know if you have Meissner. They don't know if you have Stanislavski. They don't care if you have even Lee Strasberg. The question they have is that, can you tell the story that I want? Can you tell the version of the story that I want? Or maybe you're telling a version of the story that they didn't know they needed. So for that, first, you need to know how to communicate that version. And for that, you need to know yourself. There's something about Meryl Streep said about the essence. You start from yourself to create a character from the essence. And that is true, is that everywhere you are communicating. For example, right now, the way I'm speaking, the way I'm looking at you, even my face is communicating something. Remember I told you that I look more like a guy more than a man, because I have round face, I have round eyes. And psychologically speaking, I look more like an infant, and that with that, I don't look like as a threat, I'm more like reliable. That doesn't mean that's true. I could be, a really bad person. But right now with that, you're making an assumption, and maybe if I have a scar in my face like this and stuff like that, I make another profile, So first of all, you need to know what is your neutral side. That doesn't mean that you are set for life, that's your type, and that's it. It means you need to know when you are in yourself, what is the way you're communicating. For example, right now, if I'm in a skit show, I can look to the camera and say, hi, my name is Walter Espinoza, and you can come with me from Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. to talk about math, geography, and everywhere, here on BBC. And I probably have a callback because the way I speak, the way I feel comfortable with is a more joyful way. But if I know that that's my neutral, my normal, my base, then if I have to go for more a serious role, I also need to lower my voice, to strong my face, maybe go to the gym and start like, hi, I'm Walter, I'm your lawyer. And you're not changing, you're just modulating yourself, And for that, first you need to know not what is my type, is we need to know who am I, how I feel comfortable as myself. And with that, then you can start to know, okay, which qualities that I have as a person that can provide an aspirational profile or an empathetic profile. An aspirational profile is the ones that they have qualities, okay, that make people want to be you, to know you, or to be you. It could be the superhero, could be the intelligent villain, it could be the smart, funny guy, it could be the femme fatale, it could be the nice guy, the beautiful guy, the beautiful girl, and because they have qualities that for you is above average and makes you feel like, oh, those qualities, I need to have that, okay? And you can say, oh, that's a leading role. Not the case, yes, because each project is different. Now let me talk about more empathetic roles. The ones with empathy or people feel more empathy to is the ones that have qualities that makes people emphasize with them because it's a reflection of themselves, it's a reflection of people they know, or it's a reflection of society. For example, the nice guy, the underdog, the nerdy guy, the mom, the house mom, or the working dad, or the drunk dad, or the sexist guy, or the corrupt politicians, or the good cop. And you can say, but good cop cannot be aspirational. No, that's the super cop. Because the good cop will be the one who got in with the hostages and said everything's okay, but will be a hostage. Or maybe he will escape and call the super cop, because the super cop will be the guy who is probably like, heck, I was going to have a nice day, now I'm going to the pen to kill 40 terrorists in one take. He's surpassed the goodness, and now he's surpassing his, what is good and right to become super. That's the quality that we can differentiate about that. And you also can get leading roles with that. For example, let's talk about, I'm going to talk about an actress, Charlize Theron. Beautiful actress, beautiful, physically beautiful. Yeah, so she has an inspirational role for her physique. She can aim for, she doesn't have flaws. So for us to imagine in a more relatable role, for example, an immigrant who's, trying to pass her kids through the border because she needs to escape from an operation, it's hard for us to believe her, not because is not capable of interacting, it's because we as people always tend to categorize stuff all the time. Colors, people, faces, song, everywhere, languages. Even right now, you and the people who are watching this are putting labels to me. And that's okay. No, it's because it's not that, okay, stereotyping is bad, but I'm saying it's not because we are bad people. It's because our brain is lazy. It's all the time getting information. Right now, the way you're sitting, you're feeling your head through your ears, you're feeling the chair, you're feeling the weather, you're listening to me, you're listening to the sound outside. So your brain's like, wait, stop, too much information. So the trick that the brain does is that I need to condense information. So when I see a pattern, I get to a conclusion. So if I see, I'm sorry, I spoke in Spanish, sorry. I don't know. I got one that if I see somebody that is beautiful, we're thinking, oh, that person will not have problems at all.
Yeah.
So for a role who is aspirational, or like a festival kind of film, more drama, more profound drama, it will be hard for us to imagine or accepting that. That's why the actor needs to create a strategy to change that point of view. For example, Charlize Theron did that with Monster, which she changed her profile through makeup to prove herself that, okay, I know which might disadvantage as an aspirational profile to an empathetic one. So I need to change that. Okay, I need to create that to avoid that label that people gave me. It's like a comedy actor. We're already used to them to make us laugh. He's the smart, funny guy. I cannot see you cry. I can't believe that you're crying. So that's why for comedy actors, it's difficult for them to go to that side, because they need to create a story or a strategy to make people believe. And that's that's important thing that the manager needs to know, okay, who you are, so we can create a strategy to communicate your strengths, or if you want to change your profile, how to change the profile without not feeling yourself, pretty much.
Yeah. And I mean, again, you gave me an example of that as well, because I was saying to you, oh, I get these I tend to get more victim roles and blah, blah, blah. But actually in real life, I'm quite a strong character. You know what I mean? Like, I've got personality. But then I showed you my stuff and you were like, well, duh, here's why, and I did not see that before. You're like, your headshot, you're sweet and innocent. Your showreel says you're pretty sweet and innocent. This and this and this. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. I did it. I did it myself, So it's that kind of outside objective perspective that I think actors truly, truly need. And talking there a little bit about showreels as well, obviously we wanted to get your opinion on, strategizing a showreel. What kind of nuggets of information would you have for, an actor that maybe doesn't have a manager who can be, on them with a strategy? How can they create their own?
Well, I can say that with a couple of examples. For example, I work with an actress called Francisca Aronson. She's Peruvian Swedish. She just made it to an international TV show in Spain called El Internado Las Cumbres. I think it's boarding school Las Cumbres in streaming services. And for example, what we did in that moment is that she was 13 years old, but she was, with COVID and everything, we were realizing you are not a kid anymore. And she was famous in my country because she made a movie that was like the kitty, like Pippi Longstocking kind of way, and we say, yeah, but that's it. If you want to keep doing that, people will only remember you from that role. You need to create an experience with your reel, and your experience that you are becoming a woman. I'm not saying that you're going to have makeup and everything. I'm saying that now we need to talk. The way you're going to act or the scenes you're going to pick is the ones that are going to show you your strength in drama, about serious subjects, about death, about everything. We're going to put some scenes that show you that you're still a kid, but the ones that I'm going into that direction. Okay. So what the thing that I'm doing with that is that reels is not, I'm going to show you how my technique is that I'm going to show you the experience you will have with my profile. So it's important for the actor to know which are the strengths with the profile. Like, for example, if it's like a song. If you hear a song, you give them right now 10 seconds. 10 years ago was 30. Like, if I don't like it, next, you know, you need to create an experience with that reel. Like from 1 minute to 2 minutes, it's like, which are the way that people are going to get to know my profile. I'm going to show my strengths. Because if you wear your best scene, you put your best scene to last. No, go through your best scene first. The first scene they need to see is that one. Because you need to show them your big guns in that moment. Because the most important thing actors need to know with directors, with producers, with managers, with casting director is the most important thing for us is not money, it's time. We don't have time. We don't have time. I know that you as an actor thinking, oh, please give me my big break. We're in line. I have 300,000 people writing me an email that they want the big break because it's a dream to be an actor or an actress. Well, everybody's dreams from the actors is to become an actor, to create that. If I'm going to pay attention from 10 seconds to 30 seconds, what would be your best way to communicate? So to reel is, if, for example, you are a strong type and you are good with a strong type, go first with that. If you are the nice guy, the nice girl, or everything like that, go first with that. And don't think about, well, but I don't want to be like, how do you say in English?
Typecast.
Typecast. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I will say that first get into the business and then worry about that. Because nobody will think about your versatile or no, nobody knows you. It's not about being good. It's about being useful. Is that you as an actor is not, oh, I want to create art. Great. If you want to create art, do it with your own money, with your own time. Is that true? I'm making a movie. I'm making a play. I make like as a producer or as a director, I'm making people invest money to that production. So, and art is a high risk business. So my job is to get to create a ROI, a return of investment. So if you're an actor, you're asking me for opportunity, I don't have the time for that. You need to show me, okay, give me 30 seconds and I will show you how my profile or how my acting will reduce the risk of your business. So for that's important for the actor to know who they are, to know how to communicate it. That's why the manager is there. Or if you're working with a director who creates reels, will know you which scenes not only the best in your acting is the best that shows you your strength, your ability to communicate your profile. That's why there is an exercise in casting about which type of jobs do you see me as, like doctor, policeman. You don't know why they do that?
Yeah, no, I mean, because it's about perception. How you are perceived is what's, what really matters.
Yeah, but it's not about which jobs you can make. It's which personality perks the people see you the most. For example, it's not the same a nurse than a doctor. Both of them is talking about health, helping others, but they see a doctor as an authority figure and a nurse a more empathetic one. It's not the same to be a lawyer than a judge, or a policeman than a soldier. Or, for example, if I always say especially to women, to actresses, if they put you as an escort, that doesn't mean that you are promiscuous, It means that you are comfortable with your body. Have you ever met a child? Well, I don't know. I'm saying that we met one, but have you seen a movie, a shy escort, like, hi, how are you? No, it's more comfortable. Hi, can you invite me a drink? It's more comfortable with personal space. So they see you, there is that you have the personality of someone that don't feel uncomfortable with others. So it's important to know that, to know why you are getting policeman, doctor, judge. That means they see you as authority figure. Okay, but they see you as a teacher. Which teacher? A high school teacher or university? University is more academic. A high school, it will be more like, oh, I need, stressful one. It will be primary or kindergarten means that you are more in touch with your feelings, more sensitive. If you are for example, a tattoo artist, a surfer, I don't know, a singer, means that you go against the system.
So we were talking there about, people finding out, their types and things like that. So you said, about people putting out their pictures and getting people's opinion. So would you say that that's a really good first step for an actor to do, like to maybe go onto a Facebook group or something like that and just put up their headshots and ask people, what types do you see me as? Who could you see me?
There is a group, I will tell to the actors, that there is a group on Facebook called Headshots for Actors, that you can put your headshot and tell them like, which type do you see me as, but they ask for professional headshot. Don't do a selfie, and because they remember, if you're gonna be part of the game, you need to play by the rules, and a headshot is a rule, and ask people. Maybe you don't need probably internet. You can do it with your friends, your colleagues, actors and actresses. But you need to know what is the normal thing, that most common thing that people see is about you. Okay. And you can say, and this is an important thing because there is always ego involved. Like, yeah, but no, you see me as a funny guy, but I'm really sad. Okay, I understand you. Maybe you're the saddest person in the world, but right now you're communicating happiness to them. Why? That's what it's not to say no. Don't say no to the answer. Say why. Okay, and that thing happened to me when I was younger. Like, people were looking. Imagine that I'm a manager. So I'm older than I look, and people say, "Hi, Walter." Like when I was younger, like people were asking for my ID even when I was 25 in the discos, in the clubs. And when I have businesses, people look at me like, "You look more like a promise than a reality, like a smart guy, but with a future." Like, no, I have a company, but because I understand now my features, I know how to do that. It's not the same that I will talk to you to go into a business meeting. Once that I know what things that I do most common, I know how to modulate that. So that's why first you need to ask to all the people, even if you have a manager, ask to the manager, what do you see that is more common or that is more pronounced, that people will see more often with me when I'm just me, because once you realize that, now you will realize maybe that role that you wanted, it will be against your normal, your base. So with that, which things to modulate to be part of that. And with that, I always tell, I had a coach meeting with an actress, and she was saying that I'm going to this university and they need a self-tape. I'm making a self-tape about this strong woman. And she said, something is off, I don't know what. And I said, close your eyes and listen to the story. And with that, she realized that, okay, my body was all, empowerment, but her voice was all the way back. And then realized it's against each other. There are contradictions. So that's why she feels off. When you are confident, you talk to the head, not to the back. Hi, my name is Walter. Hi, my name is Walter. And then she changed that and she got it and said, now I know. So acting is part of communication. You need to know how to communicate the story. And that's really important with that.
So in terms of other advice for actors' headshots, apart from going into groups and getting people's feedback, obviously with professional headshots, what else would you say would be useful for people to be aware of?
Well, one thing that I realized with COVID, when it came, like it stopped the market for everyone. And well, I realized with that, when I started making connection, everything, that the actor in UK is the same in US, the same in Australia, in Africa, in South America, in Asia. Is one of the problems that they always have is like, okay, how I connect myself to other people, how do I communicate to other people, how to sell. They don't like to sell. Like, I don't like to sell myself. Yeah, because you see yourself as a product, and that's not true. You are not a product. You are not Coca-Cola. You're not the soda. You're creating a service. Okay, you're like I don't know. an electrician. An electrician is not a product. He makes a service, okay? You're the same. You create a service of acting, of interpreting a character through reading and interpreting the text, and then to create a story, okay? So for that, you are not selling yourself, okay? So you need to know that you are not an employee. You're a business, you're a company. So your, for example, your stage name is your brand, it's the name of your store. And it's like your restaurant. You have Mexican food, but you have gourmet Mexican food, gourmand Mexican food. You have street Mexican food, or Italian pizza, or you have like trattoria, that is called, I think, in Italian. Well, which things are your strength? So there is a triangle that I always tell them. I create a course of marketing for actors in South America. Eventually, I want to do that in English. And I always tell them out there is 3 points you need to know: is your acting brand, your networking, and your communications tools. That is the triangle I was telling. Your acting brand is 2 parts. The first one is your profile. You need to know who you are. You need to know which technique do you want to do, and also your skills. You're a driver. Do you, for example, I want to go to the United States. Do you speak the American accents? No. So you're just waiting for you. If you're British, or you're just waiting just for the British character that they need to call you, because if you only speak your accent, your possibilities will get lower. If you speak a wider variety of accents and languages, you have a wider possibilities, not only in the United States, could be everywhere. Now, right now with Netflix, with Amazon Prime, with streaming services, business people like producers are not thinking only in English-speaking countries. They are looking for representations. Right now, this is the best time to be an actor. Because right before that, you were looking for certain type of people. Now people want representation. They want Asian, they want Latino, they want Caucasian, they want European, they want American, they want South African, they want everything. But you need to know which ones are your strengths so you can sell that. And also you are in a competitive market. Which things do you have? So that was your personal brand. And with networking, you need to know how to create contact. And it's not about to be friends of people. It's how to you create like the relationship we have. We met in a networking meeting that how can I be of service? How you can be of service? It's like, then we can become friends. Eventually we meet to meeting, but at first is how to create connection in a business way, how we can create something together. Maybe we cannot hit it off as a person, but we can make a lot of money together, So let's work together. And then you don't go to my birthday party. I don't go to a birthday party. We are not fake to each other, but we are working together. So it's important to know how many of you have met directors in short films. How many of you have, people who are starting. Everyone wants to meet Spielberg. So just wait in line and be the people, 9 million actors who wants to meet Spielberg, or maybe meet the future Spielberg, he'll be the first one in line, and the next one will be the 9 million. So it's important to know acting. And the last one is communication tools, is that your reel, your headshots, your resume, all of your webpage, if you have cards, your representation, if, for example, I was telling about actors who have webpage, do a scroll webpage, no a point and click webpage, because people don't have the time to put and wait for loading. If it only loads one time and just going scrolling down, because right now casting agencies, managers, directors don't have the time. They will look into their iPad or their phone and will do like this. So if you have a web page that can go and scroll down, it will be easier for them to get information instead of putting point and click and wait for that. So it's important to, and also if in your web page, put your resume to be downloadable and it doesn't wait like, I don't know, 20 megabytes, because it will take too much from my phone and I don't need that. So that's the things I always tell them, that for the actor to take always into consideration to create a strategy. Who you are, your brand, and also inside your brand is how, if you make economic impact in a project, or you have an audience, or for example, you have some prestige or popularity, there's 2 different things. Or for example, if you have a good network and stuff like that. And also networking is how to, manage your contacts or create contacts or opportunity contacts and your communication tools. Those 3 things are essential for your career.
No, I totally agree with you. And I think that actors especially early on, but I mean, I'm still guilty of it, as you pointed out, you know, that a lot of the time we do fail to sell what we actually have in our basket, you know. For the longest time, like, I grew up doing voices, right? I grew up doing impersonations, accents, whatever. With my sister, me and her were just the worst prank callers. Literally, we would just annoy people so much just to practice, just to have fun, right? And we were those annoying kids. And I've grown up with that. And I always love doing voices. I love reading stories to my nephew, and I'll do a different voice for every character. I've been in acting now since 2009, and I only just last year started thinking about voice acting. And it was only because my agent pointed out to me and said, you know, do you do any other accents, or is it just Scottish? And I was like, oh, actually, no, I have a few. Let me send you this silly thing that I made and see what you think. And she was like, yeah, you definitely do voices. Let's get you onto the voice books. It's stuff like that, I think, sometimes, that you just need that second pair of eyes, you know, to think of things that you didn't necessarily think of. And you pointed out to me recently as well about, you know, my publicity background. Why am I not talking about that? You know, why am I not talking about my comms and media and PR? Because I thought, you know, to be an actor, I had to just look like I was an actor and nothing else. And actually, you're a multifaceted person, and that's good.
And something to add to that I totally agree with is that the situation that most actors is their dream to become an actor. So it's related into a personal level. So when they're trying to make decisions, they're doing it in a personal basis. So most musicians, actors, or people that get ahead into the business, they realize it's okay, it's my dream, but it's also a business. So I need to also put my mind into it to be more, okay, it's to, how many of you watch your self-tapes? No, I don't want to look at it. You need to do, it's quality control. Imagine that, I don't know, a soda company say, oh, I don't want to taste it. I don't know. You need to taste it, you're gonna get sued, you know? It's the same with actors. You need to watch your reel, not because if you are acting good or bad, if you need to watch the story makes sense or not. I'm having my dramatic arc or not. It's like, why is taking myself 7 minutes, this scene? It could be 3. I don't know why. There is urgency, there is risk. You need to put points to situations. And also, how many perks do I have? I ride motorcycles. I'm good with soccer. I'm good with guns. That will help you out to get so specific roles. I'm good with voices. And it will give you another way of opportunities. For that is your dream. But at the same time, if you want to become your dream if you want to make your dream come true, you need to become your dream a reality. And if you want to become a reality, you need to put your feet on the ground and realize that you need to have goals, objectives, daily basis working. You need to have a schedule. You need to know which one are your strengths, the ones that are not your disadvantage. Work on it and always get constant feedback. It's not that I want to be an actor and that's it.
I totally agree. And we've talked before, again, this is something that I think we should discuss for the audience sake as well, is the importance of having SMART goals, you know. And by SMART, I don't just mean intelligent. It's obviously an acronym that people can Google, but basically it's important, rather than just saying my goal is to be an actor. Well, what is that? Where are you at? What are you doing? I mean, what kind of projects? How much are you getting paid? You know, a SMART goal is, you know, this year I want to be in 2 independent feature films with a budget of $500,000 or above, and they need to be going to festivals. You know, that's a SMART one, because it's got time, it's specific, you know exactly what you're wanting to do, and it is measurable. If it's not measurable, it's not a goal.
In Spanish, we have, I don't know if it's the same in English, we have like quality, results and quantity results. In arts, people, it's like, oh, I love the arts, I love the theater, that play made me feel great, but we need the quantity. So how many people went? The audience, do we got press or not? Like, we have press releases that we went to the media or not? And with that is also with goals. It's like, oh, I want to be famous or I want to be successful. What is success? Success for you could be, I want to be the leading role in the next Marvel movie, and the other person could be, I want to be the lead in, I don't know, in a Broadway musical or in a TV show. I just want to get in. So success is not the same for everybody. So first you need to put your feet on the ground and think, what is my objective? There is something I always teach in my course, is that strategy are 4 points. First, objective, be measurable, be real. Because if you want to, I don't know, if you're 24 and you want to win an Oscar in 26 years old, okay, so while you're doing commercials, just going to dependent films and work your ass off until you get one good director that you probably see that could make it into, I know, a special feature that could go into the Oscars. If you are going into that short amount of time, why you are doing commercials, you know? So first, your objective, you need to measurable. Second, context. It's not the same to be an actress right now in 2021 than to be an actress in the 50s. It's not the same to be a Latino English speaker actor in the 80s that right now. That context is important. Right now with COVID is important, for example. Okay, COVID stopped the market, that's true, but opened something that is bigger, globalizations and communications through technology. First, if you want to go to a casting, you need to fly over there. Now, self-tape, even casting by Zoom is a reality, and casting directors are saying they are more comfortable with that because it's less money and less time. Remember, time. So, for example, I got a casting for a DC movie and a Marvel movie for actors that I work with, just from Peru, from my living room. So that's context is important. Always pay attention of the context. How will change that to your market? Then the next one is your market, your audience. Which one are following you? They look you. They see you as a strong type. They see you as a funny guy. They see you as a, I don't know, femme fatale. You need to know which one is your audience. And if you don't have an audience, your family, your friends, that's one. It will be your first audience. So you need to know how they look to you, so you can provide to the context and to the objective that situation. And the last one that's very important is yourself. Which things that I'm good at, which things that I need to work with. If I know which things I'm good at, I can do that to the market, provide that in the context that we are in to get to my objective. With that, you have a strategy, and strategy is marketing. Marketing is not about selling. It's about to create strategies to a market, pretty much.
Yeah, you're packaging yourself, you know. And again, I like I've said to you before, coming from like, you know, marketing, publicity, all that sort of thing background, I'm used to selling things, but I just couldn't sell myself. You know what I mean? And that's where an agent and a manager really comes in. And I really do see the value of those people now, you know, in my life. I'm like, God, what was I doing without them? You know? But it's amazing the difference that it can make to your career. And I think also what you were saying there as well, you know, about people really being aware of themselves and things, like you can never know yourself too much, you know. So I think that we should always kind of be on that journey of trying to discover, because we're evolving as well. People evolve, people change, you know. What success was to you 5 years ago is maybe not what success is to you now.
And also you're creating industry. There is something I will say, that industry is not that actors can get a job because they are the most important, directors, producers, they're the most important roles, for example, in the industry. But if I talk to a gardener and the gardener said, what do you do for a living? Well, I only create a garden for movies. Or if a carpenter, I only create sets. That's industry, because jobs that you can think outside of the main ones are working for that means that we have a lot of workers in that. So as an actor, for example, when Tom Cruise or I don't know, Charlize Theron charge $20 million, that's 20 million, that money, not everything comes to that person. It will pay a publicist, a nutritionist, a coach, a manager, an agent. Is that you have a team that works for you to get ahead in your career. An agent is a filter. Casting directors will not say a worldwide casting, because imagine like 20 million actors, and of those 20 million, only half have a decent headshot. Half of that has real and headshot, and half of that only are the age that we are required to. So that's why we go to agencies, because it's a first filter. We already know that you have the actors that we need because you already see them. You already watch them. So for example, that's the importance of an agency, and the importance of the manager is the agency is selling you because the manager work with you. That way you can sell, well, you can say your service, not yourself, your service to those people. So it's important how each work can assist the actor in to get ahead in their career.
And also, it's in your best interest as a manager, you know, for keep getting these castings, to make sure that whomever you submit really does fit the casting profile. Because whenever you have an open casting call, like like you were just saying, you get all these people that are not really relevant to the role, you know. And I think that as an actor as well, that's the first bad move that you can make, is putting your face in front of someone and they've asked for something completely different. So they're like, okay, this person doesn't listen. They don't take direction.
Remember, if you're wasting my time, you're out. That's it. It's not personal, it's business.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fair enough. And I understand it a lot more as well now that I've like just assisted with casting a tiny bit, you know, with a couple of productions. Even for the smallest indie short, you will still have to sift through a lot of applications and a lot of people who are not actually suitable and didn't read the casting properly, you know. But I just wanted to go back as well a little bit to when we were talking about globalization and, you know, the remoteness of applying for roles now. Because again, I think a lot of actors who are locally based, say for example, they're not based in Lima, Peru, they're not based in London, they're not based in LA or New York, right? But they're still an actor. How much money did we used to spend on going to auditions, right? From my city to London, it's like £120 return for a last minute flight, right? At least. So that's a lot of money for something that's not guaranteed. I probably won't get the job, right? And that's fact. So personally, for me, I have really embraced and enjoyed this, you know, this encouragement of remote auditions, because also, why does the casting director need me in their face if they're probably not going to take me? I think it's easier for them and it's easier for me if they just see a video, they can see what I can do. And if I'm right, I'm right. You know, I'll get a second audition and maybe that's when you meet in person. But for the initial stages, I think it's a really good way to whittle down and reduce the numbers, you know, and figure out who's actually worth taking in.
The things that are important with globalization and technology, first with self-tape, is that most of factors are like, oh, I'm going in front of the person and show that, you know. But most of castings, unless it's theater, that's or another situation. But most of castings, you are going to act to a camera. So the good thing about actors right now is that you have the opportunity to do it how many times do you want until you get the right shot. Then you only have one shot. That's it. Unless the question is, can you do that again? And I always tell them one thing that is important. There is a tip. I don't know if you know that. So think about that. I was going out of the branch, but I was talking about that. And with self-tapes, now we have the opportunity not only to be, I don't know, classwork, or maybe, I don't know, Birmingham, or maybe be in a small town in Scotland, and you can send it to LA for the next Marvel movie, for the next, I don't know, Academy Motion Picture movie, you know, nominated. But the thing is that with that has be like, this be a democracy right now, you know. Now you can be everywhere, and if you have that technology and you need it, it's part of your investment, you have now a way to get there. And also the other thing that is important about technology is education. Before that, I was in, I don't know, I'm in Glasgow and I want to go into London, but I don't have the money. Now there are courses like, for example, acting through camera by Zoom. And it's the same. Here is the camera. I can act to the camera. I can say out to the actor like, "Hi, how are you doing? I'm Walter. What are you doing?" I'm having myself take. It's the same. Theater is another thing, but yeah, now right now, if you don't have all the time, or the money, or the geography, with this, there is a new way of possibilities.
I don't want things to go back to the way they were, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
I can do so many more auditions now than I ever could before. And the main reason is finance. As a working class or lower socioeconomic background actor, paying to get to auditions is a huge, huge tax on your income, you know, and especially when you're expected to only work part-time because you need to be available to go to auditions and things, you know, it makes more sense. And I also think if I was producing a film, because obviously I am moving into production as well, you know, not moving, but expanding, let's say, into production. What I want to know is, how does that person look on camera? First and foremost, I don't really care so much how they look in person, or how, you know, like I want to get their energy and things like that after. But initially, the first thing I want to see is, how are they on camera, and does that suit what I'm looking for, you know? And I think that it's a really good way to sift through at least the first level, you know, because for a lot of castings, you'll have multiple auditions that you need to attend, if you're getting on. But one thing I wanted to go back to as well there, you were saying about, you know, you getting a piece of direction from the casting director. And it reminded me of another episode of Film Forums with Jack C. Nelson. And he said, he's a director, and he said what he will do a lot of the time, if he likes someone and they've made a strong choice as an actor, he'll give them a shitty piece of directing. He just wants to see what they do with it and whether or not they can make it their own. If they can, he'll hire them probably. But if they can't, then he's like, okay, this person doesn't take direction. They're not going to be fun to work with, you know? So I think you're absolutely right. A lot of people will be like, oh no, they don't like what I did. They want me to do it differently. And actually, a lot of the time, it's a test. It's to see how you...
Yeah. Like I said before, your technique is important for you, but not for the casting. Nobody cares about that. Nobody would ask you before you start, so do you Meissner? Oh, interesting. Uta Hagen, great. You say, please start when you're ready. And when you're starting, and that's the reason, and that is one of the reasons, because I'm going to poke on some meat here, like a nerve. Like, that is a reason why sometimes actors who are not experienced, or maybe you've been studying for years and that person got the role and got nominated for an Oscar. It's not that only is, oh my God, why? Because he's a friend or something like that. No, it's because that person connect with the story in a way that was so profound that we like that. We don't care if he studied 10 years, 2 years, 1 year. Okay, we like that, we want the role. So now the actor will probably ask, so why I'm studying acting? Because that person will do it only once. Because that person, if they never study acting again, will connect with that role, and because maybe it was something personal, it reminds me of something that from his life, you know, something that was very important to them, so can connect and communicate his story. But then put a different type of character or different type of character, and will not do the same because he or she doesn't have that technique to apply that to other characters. You can. So that's why you study technique, so you can create different versions for different characters to put your version of the story. And with that, I always try to tell to the actors in castings, don't go there thinking, oh, how am I acting? I'm getting good or bad. No, think, I need to create a story that the question is, no, he's a good actor. No, the question is, so what will happen next? If you want to see what happens next, call me to the callback. That's it. If you can, that's why we ask for a neutral wall, for a neutral close, you know, because if you can create without anything that the casting director of myself can imagine the rain, the bus station, the other person crying, say, don't go, please, don't go, and talking like this, and you can make me think of that without any of that. If we put everything in that with you, you have a strong possibility.
You're absolutely right. I mean, when you think about it, obviously training is important. You have to get training. You know, you don't necessarily have to go to drama school, but you have to get some good training. But never have I ever seen a casting that says Stella Adler graduates only, you know, or Meisner technique only.
I always make this example in Spanish. I'll try to translate in English. You'll never see a casting director like you are making the scene, you're like crying, like it's perfect, and then you mumble a word. You never say, stop it. She mumbled, she's out. I couldn't understand her. No, you say that was incredible. Please try not to mumble again, but do that again. Because it's the experience. It's not the knowledge that are looking for you, it's the experience they want to have with you. Inside as a character and outside as a business person. So that I always say to the actors that you don't think your success is not about the roles you get. It's about the callbacks you get. Because if you get callbacks, means that they like you. But at the end, there is only one role. So maybe it was 10 great for the role, but at the end you have to make a decision. And sometimes it's not your acting. Sometimes, well, she works with press and she is providing for free our press, or he has more followers, or he's well-known, has prestige name, or she's bringing a brand to put more money. Like there is a lot of scenarios that can change the selection of the person as the actor. But if you get the callback, means that for the casting director, and if you get to the next one to the director, for them, your acting and the way you're acting to that character, communicating the story, they like it. So if you don't get the role, okay, it's a bum, you know, it's a bummer, it's sad. But think of that. You are getting callbacks. You are getting callbacks. So it means that you are doing something right. You just need to get the right opportunity and the right strategy to get that role, and then the next history.
Well, it was lovely to have you on, and obviously you'd be more than welcome to come back and we can talk about more things, you know. And again, if anyone wants, you know, to leave questions in the comments section for Walter, that would be a really good idea. And we can always bring Walter back on to answer those for you. Thank you.